Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV. I'm here with Ray.
Hi mate.
Good win last night.
Get in.
Absolutely. What we're going to talk about in this video, we're going to break it down into segments like we normally do in review videos. Going to look at the team lineup, give our thoughts on that. We'll look at first half, second half performances, look at the goals, and then we're going to do a player ratings at the end just to finish off. So let's have a look at the lineup. Well, he went with Ederson in net. Walker, as I suspected, Company would come back in on big games. He's a big game player. Laporte kept his place as well. And no Ben Mendy. So Zinchenko came in at left back. Fernandinho played the holding role, which we all knew he would do. But then Gundogan and David Silva played ahead of him, which I must admit, when that team's announced, I keep saying it, I've said it about 50 times. Whenever we see Gundogan, Fernandinho and David Silva play, we've rarely played to our levels. But just quickly, we'll come back to that. Bernardo Silva played on the right, Sterling on the left, and Sergio Aguero up front. So what were your thoughts? Certainly that, I think we all agree Company was going to come back. That three in midfield again.
To be honest, I expected that team, the defence, I expected Company to come back. We knew he would. Pep said it's a shame that he's 100% fit at the end of the season. It's always the way. It was always again because of his knee. I think it was said a week or two ago that after he plays, his knee swells up. He's another Ledley King. Paul McGrath, he can't really train. So playing twice in a short space of time isn't on the agenda for Ben Mendy at the moment. We'll have to hope that over the summer his knee he gets proper rehabilitation, because it feels like he needs more time. And hopefully it's not something long term. Hopefully it's something that we can sort out over the summer. I'll go to the front three. We'll come back to the middle three in a minute. The front three, I expected that, to be honest. Bernardo, he's been fantastic this season. Sergio, he's our main man. And Raheem, almost the player of the year. Less said about that, the better. And then the middle three. I was very tempted this morning to write to Pep on Twitter. Not that he's going to read my message, but just to say, listen, mate, listen. Have you not looked at the stats? Have you not noticed that when we play Gundogan, Fernandinho, and David Silva together, it doesn't really work, especially in the bigger games. And each of those players is a fantastic player.
Absolutely.
They're all right, individually, brilliant. All three of them together, it just doesn't work. It's never really cut it. We saw that in the first half.
It was we lack a bit of energy, and driving forward with those three players, because David Silva and Fernandinho and Gundogan tend to always try and occupy the same space, which that's not the way we play. We play in triangles, and they kept sort of bumping into each other.
They're doing half and half. Because if in all honesty, Fernandinho is more of a defensive midfielder than a sprayer of the ball or a creator. Gundogan is more of a creator than a holding midfielder.
You just went a little bit there.
So Gundogan is more of a creative midfielder than a holding midfielder, and ideally you want just one of them playing. It's like we're shoehorning them both in. When in all honesty, I don't think both can play together. Certainly not with David Silva, because David Silva's he's 33 almost.
It's 33,
Dino's 33, almost 34. Gundogan's something like 28, 29. He was never the fastest, Gundogan. He's got a bit of nip on him, now and again, but between the three of them, there's not a lot of pace. There's not a lot of legs. There's not a lot of energy to spare.
We kicked off, and I thought United played really well. So that first 20 minutes or so, I was thinking, come on, City, get that. And I'm thinking, go back to those three again. And I'm thinking, we need to take a grip here because they're just spraying.
They were just, look.
It was like Bolton Wanderers, Sam Allardyce, big balls over the top. We knew what they were going to do, hence why.
We knew that. But I've got to say, I mean, at the back, we weren't great. I mean,
it looks a bit company.
Just nervy. I think it was just nervy. There was a lack of attention. Leaving Rashford to race against Kompany. Come on, guys, that's not a good idea. I mean, Walker should be I mean, they said on one of the commentaries, Walker should be talking to Kompany, and Walker should be picking up Rashford when Rashford's going through, because Kompany had no chance. He got away with one potentially. He got a yellow card for another, and you know, he looked uneasy every time the ball was pumped forward for Rashford to chase. So you needed more support from Laporte and from especially Walker, who's got the pace. He's got bags of pace to spare. So we did look a bit shaky. Zinchenko a couple of times shaky as well. I think he took an early yellow card. So we were taking yellow cards in defence from Kompany and Zinchenko quite early. So that was a concern. But really, United only had two ways of playing that game. Lump the ball forward or hit us on the break from one of our mistakes. That's it. Their own creativity generally was lacking. Well, they had a couple of moments around our box with Pogba and one or two others who maybe put through a decent ball, but you'd expect that. You know, these are not bums. They're not, you know, playing in the National League or something. They're playing in the Premier League. They're Premier League players. And as much as we want to laugh at them and have a joke at their expense, they are still decent players. So they will create things from time to time, and they did occasionally. But, you know, I think the first half pretty much each team cancelled each other out.
Yeah, I mean, it was, like I said, first sort of 20 minutes or so, it was one of those, just let's hope we don't have an error in us like we have done sort of, you know, recently. We've had one or two errors and things like that. And like I said, early yellow cards in a derby, you're thinking, how many sending offs we've had in derbies and things like that. You're thinking, oh, God, here we go again. But after that sort of, we weathered that first little bit, and then we started to, I don't know, we were in second gear, but we started to move the ball around, and we had one or two opportunities. Sterling had a great chance, brilliant run, sort of fluffed his shot, but it went straight at De Gea. He could have fluffed it, and it would have gone 2 yards left, and it was a goal. I mean, we'd all be saying, "What a goal!"
Yeah.
But we got to our time at 0-0. And it was like, come on, we need more drive, we need more energy. And in the second half, suddenly, Fernandinho gets a knock, which Pep said he got a knock before half-time. Then at half-time, he was umming and ahhing about him, and it didn't look anything serious because he actually looked a bit pissed off when he came.
Carry on.
Give me another minute or two at least. But Pep had made his mind up, and actually, as it turned out, Gundogan went into that holding player. We pulled Bernardo Silva into midfield with David Silva. Suddenly, those triangles started coming back. Spaces suddenly open with Leroy on the left.
Yeah. So, I mean, where, like you say, the triangles, you know, where we've had a lot of success this season is those triangles when you've got David Silva with whoever the left back is, whoever the left winger is. So this time it was Sane, you know, in the second half. And the triangles just appear. And, you know, we're always got the overlaps or the underlaps. We're always getting people towards the byline, in the box, dangerous situations. And, you know, we looked a different beast. Absolutely different beast.
We looked like a different team, certainly. And this is no slight on Fernandinho, but when he went off and the sub came on, we started to play like we normally do. And suddenly gaps were opening. We were playing around them, etc., etc., and that led to, on 54 minutes, Bernardo's goal. Gundogan got the ball, drove forward, played him in. You're thinking he's sort of right edge of the box, but you know what he's like, and he cuts inside and hits, very quickly hits a first-time shot, which I don't think De Gea was set for. I think he thought might have come in again and then shot, but he hits it straight away. Great goal, great finish.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd expect Bernardo, like Mahrez, to hit it into the far corner with a lot of bend. So I think De Gea was already looking to go that way. and you had Porky Shaw at left back, who I mean, he should have done better. I think he let Bernardo come in on his left. He shouldn't have done that.
Gary Neville was trying to stick up for him after the game, saying, "This City team just drive you into the ground in your legs." But like Graham Souness said, it was 54 minutes.
Yeah,
you should be tired after 54 minutes.
Look. Luke Shaw should not have let him go on the inside. He wanted to go. Luke Shaw should have said, "Go on the outside. If you want to put a ball in with your right foot, go ahead."
Yeah.
And then he'll try to block it. I'm sorry, hey, like Colin Savage, Prestwich Blue and myself, played left back. You played full back. You don't let, especially if even if I didn't know how good the player was on his left or right foot or whatever, it's much more, for me anyway, more preferable to push them towards the byline and to let them put a cross in rather than let them cut across the box and have a shot.
It is, but I mean, I will,
You're going to stick up for Luke Shaw?
No, I'm saying I'm going to give the credit to Bernardo Silva because he's so tricky with his feet.
Oh, yeah.
He might turn around and go, "I'll show you on the outside," and he can go outside, come back in, and I mean, he's amazing with how quick he moves the ball between his feet, and the number of times, like the Raheem Sterling shot in the first half, the number of times that they've cut inside and again, and then shot. Maybe Shaw's thinking, I'll let him come in once and he can go again, and then maybe we've got the centre. But he didn't. He came in once and hit it so quick,
and he didn't block it. Shaw,
so quick. He hit it, and that was the difference. It wasn't I'm setting it up for a shot. He just cut in and straight away, and that's why De Gea wasn't.
I think he cuts in and he shot before like you're saying, before it looked like he was set for a shot. He'd already had the shot.
He did.
And I think De Gea at that point thought Luke Shaw would block it, and he was already starting to go the other way.
Yeah.
And by the time he came back, this best keeper in the world, isn't he?
Wow.
Right. We saw the best keeper in the world.
He has been, but he's not been great recently. So I mean, De Gea is. It looks like his head's been turned, and that's maybe why what's on his mind. But still a wonderful keeper. But he's made some mistakes, and then obviously the second one, which we'll come to. So 1-0. We're thinking we needed that. Pep on the sidelines was sort of like knew how big a goal that was because we were just starting to get on top, and then suddenly it was almost like we were cruising. Then we were starting to go up the gears. We were finding massive gaps in their midfield, and then Leroy's on, is wide. Suddenly, Raza gets the ball in midfield with about 4 United players around him, pirouettes, and just turns. And suddenly, he's left 4 United players for absolute dust behind him. Looks up, sees Leroy there, plays in a lovely pass into his stride. Leroy takes his usual, like he normally does, takes a shot. De Gea's already going down a little bit like Ederson did with the goal against Son, and deflects it into the net. We'll take it. I mean, it should have done better, but 2-0, that is game over.
That was game over. It was hard enough for United to come up from 1-0, and as soon as that second went in, you thought, City would have to really self-destruct. We tried a couple of times, Kyle Walker and a couple of others. It's like you're thinking to yourself, we're 2-0 up. Play the percentages. Why are you playing? There's no need to play risky passes. There's no need to take risky fouls. And there's no need to, at one point we had 2-on-2. It's like, hang on, guys, what's going on here? We should have really been shot.
Sorry, just dropped.
Lost a little bit. We really needed to be shutting up short once we were 2-0 up, 10 minutes to go.
Well, there was a couple of occasions, weren't there? There was one where Kompany and Ederson were playing to each other and gave it back to Kompany, and Kompany's lost. And Kompany turned around to him and was giving him, just clear it.
Yeah,
rid of it.
Look, Kompany didn't want the pressure, because there was pressure.
You know what players bearing down on you and giving the ball is. There's one thing. It's all right. All right, we were 2-0 up, but you don't want that. And I give Ederson credit. We have to go back to that brilliant save he made with Rashford one-on-one. Came flying out, wonderful sort of stop. And then there was the chance in the second half with same again, the ball over the back on the left side again. You know, Walker came in and half-heartedly cleared it. It went to the left back position again. The ball came over. Credit to Vinny. He didn't know whether he was going to get there or not, but one thing he was doing was throwing his body on the line. Yeah. United players were not doing last night. And he threw his body on the line, which put Lingard off.
Yeah. Lingard's not the best. Let's
no, it's not. He's not a great player.
He's no Lukaku, you know.
But 2-0, and then pretty much we sort of cruised for the. You know, there wasn't a great deal more to talk about. There was that one wonderful move which Sergio hit the outside of the post from. I mean, it was just a brilliant, typical City move. And that would have been right up there. The actual interchange is one of the best goals we scored this season. And he tried to curl it, just hit the outside of the post. But 2-0, final whistle went. It was like, it was relief mixed with how easy was that.
Yeah, it was an anticlimax, that game at the end of the day.
I expected a lot more from United, I must admit.
We'll get more against Burnley. Burnley will be hard.
Will do. Which leads me on to just some final bits and pieces, which is sort of a little few sort of stats and things. City have won 7 away Premier League games against United at Old Trafford, more than any other team. United have now lost 7 in their last 9, which is just shocking. City have scored 157 goals in all competitions, the most by an English in top flight in a single season. So we broke another record. Pep is the first manager to win 3 consecutive away Premier League matches at Old Trafford, and only the third to win 3 away matches there, along with Wenger and Gerard Houllier. United are without a clean sheet in 12. In combining for the second goal, Leroy Sané with 10 goals and 10 assists, Raheem Sterling with 17 goals and 10 assists. Both reached 10 goals and 10 assists in the league this season. The only other player to do that is Eden Hazard.
Yeah. And who's he? Can't even get in the player team of the year.
It's frightening, isn't it? Company. Vinny got his 10th yellow card in the Premier League. Derby. The only players is Carragher and Noble to do that.
But there was David Silva. He's apart from United players, I think he's won the most games at Old Trafford. He's won 6 games at Old Trafford, which is the most for anybody apart from a United player.
Yeah. Well, if we look at the stats, possession-wise, City had 63% possession, United 37%. Could you ever imagine 10, 15 years ago we'd go to Old Trafford having 63% possession? I mean, it just shows you the gulf in class between the two teams.
Yeah.
Shots, United had 12, we had 8. Shots on target, they had 1, we had 5. Corner each and 10 fouls each. So, again, just another dominant display, even though they gave it a go after 20 minutes, but it was almost like got to half time and they're thinking,
look, to be honest, mate,
we're not going to score here.
Look, really all they did, in my opinion, United huffed and puffed. They huffed and puffed. That kept them in the game in the first half because we weren't on it for whatever reason. Those 3 in midfield, whatever reason, we weren't on it. They put their energy into that first half. They were doubling up on our wingers. They're not letting people have space. They were trying to press, but we kept beating the press. And it has to be a combination of things. They didn't have the quality. They haven't got the quality, in all honesty. They would have been tired in the second half. And, once we were 1 and then 2-0 up, they were disheartened. A few people tried a little bit. But in honesty, they'd given up. I think what summed it up to me was Alexis Sanchez coming on with 12 minutes to go. So we had 12 minutes on the pitch in normal time and 4 minutes in added time. 16 minutes, 1 touch. 1 touch of the ball in 16 minutes.
It's frightening, for 460 grand a week.
Well, he's getting 400 grand a week basic and 75 grand per game. So for coming on and having 1 touch, you got 75 grand.
Yeah, it's frightening, isn't it? But anyway, it was a great win. ended up being, as nervous as City fans were, we know how big the game was. It was pretty routine in the end and quite comfortable, certainly that second half. Fans were amazing, full voice.
Despite what Sky's saying, what they're doing.
Yeah. City fans were in full voice. You could hear them all night. They, loads of empty seats. Again, I mean,
they couldn't sell it. They couldn't even
sell it. And then 20 minutes to go, they start streaming out. And just, I've got a picture on my phone. I don't know whether you'd be able to see it. I'll try and just see whether you can see that.
Oh, it's empty, mate.
That was Old Trafford with 20 minutes to go.
It was empty.
People were just piling out. After that second goal went in, they were leaving. Yeah. So United fans who sort of try and throw grenades at City about not being able to sell and empty seats, Jesus, that's embarrassing. That is pretty embarrassing. That shows you the levels where we are.
Oh, mate, look, it's flip-flopped. It's flip-flopped. When Ferguson was there, he was still holding it together. And since he's gone, they're still running. David Moyes is still running his contract down. His 6-year contract.
Amazing that he's still paying him.
It's still 6-year contracts, and and it just shows how the difference in the structure and the management of each club.
Yeah.
We've gone from, look, mate, we were jokers under Franny Lee, under Peter Swales. Oh man, that's about 25 years of being the fool. And we've come through, okay, we had a slight hiccup with Thaksin Shinawatra, but we've come through and we're now a very well-run club, very stable, profitable, and winning on the pitch, which is really, really crucial and important. And our owners and our management team want us to win on the pitch. And I think the difference between us and United is vast. Yes, they're a behemoth, they're a gigantic club making tons of money, but that's been their focus. They've got a financial.
Sorry, you went again then.
Right. But United have got a financial whiz in commercial wizard in Edward Woodward. He's bringing in loads of deals, loads of money. But on the pitch and the management, they're absolutely ballsing it up. And it is like what we were 10, 20 years ago. And I don't...
Anyway, I'm going to cut you off because we're talking about United. We're not interested. It looks like Mike Phelan's going to end up being the sporting director or technical director anyway, which I think will be a good move.
Yeah.
But let's go through. We're going to give our player ratings. So sign off with Edison.
Well, I'm going to...
I don't want...
I'm not going to be a lot. I'm just going to say no one's going to get less than 7 because we won the derby. I don't care if someone had a not brilliant game. Edison did his business, 7.5.
Okay, he gets a 7 from me. Walker.
I'll give him 7 because I said I won't give anyone below 7. He had a few dodgy moments. He should have done better. Some of his passing, long passes, very poor in the first half. Didn't help company when he needed it. But we won the derby, 7 from me.
7 from me as well. Vinny Company.
I've got to give him a 7. First half wasn't great. Mistakes against Rashford, been left alone to deal with his pace. But he led from the front. He's a leader. He put tackles in, marshaled the defence. How he got through 80 minutes or so without getting a second yellow card amazes me. But he got us through. He's our captain, he's our leader. And fingers crossed he can stay fit for the rest of the season.
Gets a 6 from me.
Yeah, you're a tightwad, you are.
Yeah, I didn't think he had a great game.
No, I know, but
his leadership qualities were superb, and that one sort of diving in against Lingard and putting him off. But overall, I thought his passing was pretty.
Oh no, he wasn't great. But I'm below 7.
Aymeric Laporte.
Give him 7 as well. He had a couple of dodgy moments with his passing again. He's not looked the assured defender that we were touting for one of the best defenders of the season. Up till 3 or 4 games ago, he was that man. But that was the first half. Second half, I don't think he had as much work to do. And what he had to do, I think he did it capably. 7 from me.
6.5 from me. For all the things you said.
Yeah.
Zinchenko.
He gets a 7 from me as well. Got an early yellow card, a couple of dodgy moments, getting beat on out wide. When you don't get beat by Ashley Young. Come on, it's Ashley Young's 33 years old. You shouldn't be beating Zinchenko. Couple of mistakes, but overall, when he got a chance to be involved with the triangles, love that. 7 from me.
6 from me. Wasn't his best game, I'll be honest with you. Fernandinho.
7 from me. I think he did all right in the first half. He did what Fernandinho has to do.
Yeah.
Broke up play, simple passes. He had one dodgy one where he was asking for a free kick when he lost. He tried to do a Cruyff turn or whatever he did.
He did.
And in the middle of the park, and I was thinking, no, you don't do. Initially, I thought it was Vinny. I thought, what the hell? And then it was Fernandinho. But still, what the hell are you doing that there? And we got lucky that I think the pass was not great through to Lingard or Rashford or whatever. I think we got lucky and Laporte came and crowded him out. But I give him 7.
7 from me. Solid game. Gundogan.
I'm going to give him an 8. I'm going to give him an 8. First half, like we said, we struggled with those 3. Second half, in that pivot, playmaker, DM role, he did what we wanted him to do. Setting up goals. Okay, the pass to Bernardo. Bernardo made his own goal, but he did a lot of nice passes, a lot of breaking up play. There was one move where I think he took 3 United players on. I was like, huh? Is this Ilkay Gundogan? And he had some spurts of pace from time to time, and I think he did help to change the direction of the game, where we were thinking. I'll be quite honest. I bet you most City fans would have been worried when Dino went off, and Gundogan was taking his place. But I think the way we played for the rest of the team as well, I think that helped him because he wasn't under enormous pressure. If United had been putting a lot of pressure on us, I think it might have been different. But he got away with it, and I think it was pretty decent in the second half. So an 8 from me.
7.5 from me for Gundogan. I thought, first half not so great. Second half, much better, and was probably my highest score so far. David Silva.
David Silva gets an 8 from me as well. I think it's very similar to Gundogan. First half, it was a struggle for us. Second half, he had more space, and he was making his own space as well as United being a little bit poor and giving him space. And it was back to magical twinkle toes where he'd sidestep people, he'd turn people, he'd feint to go one way and go the other, create an extra second or two for himself. Great passing, and he made us tick in that second half. So I'll say this to all those boo boys that were calling out his name. He's shown you, he's class. Yeah. He can still do it, and and. I think Thee and me, we never doubted him. We just said sometimes he needs a rest. He can't do it all the time. I think it helped that he's playing against a bang average team, but still, he put in a good second half performance. Solid 8 from me.
Okay, 8.5 from me. I thought he was magnificent. I thought he controlled and dictated the pace of the game, and he's so intelligent. And you can see Pep absolutely trusts him in the tactical elements of the game and when it needs to be slowed down and when it needs to, and he's constantly in the ear of, he's constantly talking all the time. Pep's giving it to him, he's giving it to the players. I thought he was brilliant last night. He gets an 8.5. Bernardo Silva.
9 from me. He gets a 9 from me. First half, like everybody else, it was okay. Second half, I wanted him to play in the middle, but we just got too many players. We got 6 people if you include Foden, for 3 slots. So it's hard work, and nobody's going to bump KDB when he's fit off the ball or Fernandinho. So it's very hard for him to play in the centrally. Played out wide. He was good, and then when he moved central, he stepped it up a gear. He was magnificent. His close control has always been top draw. He scored a goal. Dribbled past the players, he's got magical feet as well. and he plays with a smile. Really cheers you up. So yeah, fantastic 9 from me.
Well, it was a 6 from me in the first half and a 10 in the second. So I'm going to go somewhere in between and say I'm going to go I'm going to say the same as David Silva, an 8.5 there or thereabouts, because I thought he was poor in the first half. I thought he was giving the ball away too often, and you could see he was getting frustrated. But then it was just back to typical Bernardo Silva season in the second half. He was absolutely immense. If he would have had a slightly better first half, he'd get a 9.5. But I just thought he was poor. I thought he was poor in the first half, but brilliant, incredible in the second. So I'll go with same score as David Silva, 8.5. Sergio Aguero,
7.5. 7.5. He worked hard. He didn't have many opportunities. He created one opportunity for somebody else, for Sterling, I think. But he worked hard. He hit the post from that move, and you could tell he was frustrated as well. So for the effort, for the running around, for being a constant thorn in United players' sides, because if they got too close, he'd spin them and leave them on their asses. So 7.5 from me. A goal would have really, I think he deserved one, but 7.5.
Well, I would have given him exactly the same score, 7.5, but I'm giving him an 8 because right at the end, I think it was about 10 minutes ago, he chased down somebody and he just turned around after chasing them down. The ball went out and he was like giving it this, and that is what you want in a derby, and it don't make any difference whether it's just a derby in January or it's a derby in the season.
You want that.
He knows what a Manchester derby is, and like I said, he ran his socks off, and that goal when he just hit the outside of the post, So even though he didn't score, he gets an 8 from me, which leaves us to the final one before the subs. Final one before the subs, which is Sterling. Raheem Sterling.
Yeah. He played well in the second half. I was a bit disappointed in the first half where he couldn't do Ashley Young. And there was that really one great move where he took 4 men on. But if you're going to do that, you should either score or let Gundogan have the shot, because Gundogan was coming onto it and he was in a better position. I'm going to give him a 7.5 because I think he could have done more, to influence the game. I didn't think he influenced it enough.
Well,
there's another one where I think Gundogan someone put the ball through and he didn't control it.
It was the ball over the top when he tried to, control. Instead of taking it with his left foot, which would have brought it inside for a shot, he tried to go with his right foot. But I'm the same with you, but I'm still the same as Bernardo Silva. I think he was, a 6 and a 10. But I'm not going to go anywhere near the sort of Bernardo score, so I'm going to go with you, 7.5. Because I thought he was poor in the first half. Second again, I thought he was poor, but stepped up. What a wonderful run for the taking 4 players completely out the game within a second. Suddenly, that's why they were dragged inside, because of his turn.
Yeah,
they weren't expecting him to turn at that point, and then suddenly take their 4 midfielders out of the game. Well, we had subs coming on. We had Danilo came on. We're not going to score Danilo because he came on in the 89th minute. Leroy came on after 51 minutes. So Leroy Sané.
Well, going on your basis, he's getting a 5 because he got 0 from the first half and 10 from the second, But no, in all honesty, I've said it before, he is the player that excites me the most out of all City players. Sterling may be doing it more consistently and be more reliable, but Leroy is the one who gets you off your seat, the seat of your pants.
He can do.
He can do. He's the one that if you've got hair, you're pulling it out as well. He frustrates the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it's the same with Pep. He must frustrate the hell out of him
Pep said it in his post-match presser. He turned around and said, maybe I do give him a load of grief, basically, and I'm only ad-libbing what he said. He said, I do give him a hard time because I know how good he can be. Yeah. And I think it's just up here. He's got to get through to him.
Yeah.
And I think that's what frustrates Pep, is that you could be the best player in world football. You've got it, but you've got to do it.
In my opinion, right now, he could. Maybe I'm looking at this through blue-tinted specs.
Or maybe remove Messi. Let's take him out of the equation. Look at at the top 5 players in world football.
I was going to say
Raheem is up there at the moment.
I'd say 3 City players can be up there. Okay, Raheem, KDB,
Bernardo's
not on the dot.
I mean, Pep said he is one of the best players in world football.
Yeah, I think Bernardo has to do it for. If he can maintain this for another season, yeah. Well, they're definitely in the top. Those 4 are definitely in the top 10.
Yeah,
definitely in the top 10 for me.
I agree.
And you know, Sane's got so much potential. Yes, we take the freak of nature that is Messi out of the equation, and for Sane is up there with ability, technique-wise, and excitement-wise. You know, once Messi's out of the equation, there's no one I want to see playing more than.
He's a player you want to watch, and he's a player that when he comes on, you know, all right, he's been a bit frustrating, and that's maybe because he's only had sub appearances and things mainly. But when you see him in full flow and he's playing it, I mean, it's one of those a thing of absolute beauty.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy you want to pay money.
You pay money, yeah, absolutely.
Pay money to go to see. You know, you don't go on a freebie. You pay money to go and see Leroy Sané play.
Yeah. So score.
Sané, I've got to give him a
7.
Get out of it, 8. 8 for me.
Okay.
You know, I mean, although David De Gea helped him with that goal, for the excitement value, for the danger value, and he just scared the pants off United players. I really think he did.
Can you imagine 51 minutes in, you know, and
Dino's going off.
Ashley Young looks at the bench and sees Leroy Sané coming on and thinking, oh, please, no.
Can you imagine when Dino was going to go off, people would think, oh, what are they going to do? Are they going to put Danilo on?
Yeah.
What are they going to do? How are they going to cope? Are they bringing Sané on? You know, Ashley Young's heart must have sank.
Yeah. It did, because you could tell his legs were nowhere near what. I mean, he was a fast player in his time, but he was nowhere near what Leroy is. So, okay, I'll go with you an 8 because he scored. Yes. And then we've got Gabby Jesus, who came on right at the end and run his socks off for the last couple of minutes, 5 minutes or so. But anyway, great win. Leads us on to Burnley. We'll be doing a
busy day on Burnley.
Doing one with Scott. So I'll be doing a pre-match review or preview with Burnley on that one. So that leads us to the next game. 3 games to go. They're all massive in the Premier League, and obviously, last night was 1 game. Burnley next, then we'll decide about Leicester, and then we'll decide about Brighton. But you know, Liverpool have got Huddersfield tomorrow night. I think it is tomorrow night, isn't it? They play Huddersfield. So
did they move the game, or was it already on a Friday night? I can't remember.
I can't remember, but you know, Huddersfield have got nothing to lose now. They're down, so it's one of those free game for them. Let's go at it. Go and do something.
They're going to go at it. Huddersfield are going to be defensive as ever.
Well,
all I can hope for is that Aaron Moy scores a goal. Yeah, and that's it.
Well, just finally, we're not going to do it on here because it's not official yet. I don't think. Is it official? Has it already been made official now? The Premier League Team of the Year has been made official. But what we want to do is going to just wait for the football writers because I think that's coming. Might be tomorrow. Their votes should come out, I think, tomorrow. And then what we'll do is we'll do a video and we'll talk about the Premier League Team of the Year, sort of the players, things like that, and we'll talk about the writers because I've got a feeling after last night with Van Dijk being named, you know, or today Van Dijk officially being named as the Player of the Season, and then that leaves it open to who's going to be the Football Writers Player of the Year, and I've got a feeling Sterling will get that.
Sterling's got more of a chance.
Yeah, and then we've got obviously Bernardo in with the Young Player of the Year. We've got the Team of the Year, which we'll
do some on that.
We'll do a video tomorrow on the Team of the Year, and we'll discuss Paul Pogba getting in there and everything else. We'll save that one for tomorrow when we've had a chance to sort of maybe look at some bits and pieces and stats and things like that, and we can discuss it. But anyway, this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. Thanks a lot, Ray.
Cheers, mate.
We'll be back later for a live vlog, and you can get your thoughts in about last night's performance later, around about 1600, 1630. So don't forget, check in. Don't forget, subscribe, click notification, and give us a thumbs up. And thank you, everybody, last night. It was a bit of a mega one. We had all sorts of United fans, Liverpool fans, Spurs fans, you name it, we had on last night. And 2-inch Freeman, he's the new legend of Man City. Let's see if he comes back later. But anyway, Ray, thank you very much. Take care, guys, and we'll see you soon.